Welcome, Chris, to Metallarium Pages. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us today. And first of all, how are you? How was the band during the last years? Because your previous album,
Yeah,
Metal, was released at 2019. So
yeah,
I think at the beginning of the pandemic, at the beginning of the pandemic, and now we have this new album,
yeah.
Silver Romance.
You already said it. So it was in the beginning, or it was in the when the pandemic started. So we almost could finish our tour with METL, and it got interrupted by this strange situation we all were suffering in, and some territories we couldn't play anymore, like Thailand, Bangkok, or Japan, Tokyo, and things like this. They were victims of the pandemic. Yeah, and then, like every one of us, we were starting to suffer under the situation and the pandemic because I think it was far away from happy metal. So I started to write songs, but I was not really happy about the result because our mental stand, the mood was not this what it should it be. But anyway, so after some live streamings and distant concerts we played with Freedom Call, we pulled ourselves together and said, come on, let's go for the next journey. And I think it was around end of 22, we started to produce the new album Silver Romance. And yeah, so finally, the reason why that we had a little bit more space in between the two albums, METL and Silver Romance, was simply the pandemic.
Okay. Okay. Oh, this new album, Silver Romance, will be releasing in the coming weeks.
Yeah.
Or will in through Steam Hammer. So, can you tell us a bit about? Can tell us a bit about the themes and sound explore on this new record?
Oh, yeah. So let's start with the topic or with the title of Silver Romance. Freedom Call is celebrating this year the silver wedding, so 25 years of Freedom Call. Yeah, we became old bastards, but time is flying. It's flying too fast, so unexpected fast. And that is one reason about the title Silver Romance. But romance also says it's a fairy tale. And we just want to give all the people the opportunity to escape or to go with us into another world. So a world which is beyond. So it's more than beyond, where all your dreams come true, where all wishes come true, which you're longing for. And especially in the state of the world right now, with all these conflicts and bullshit, and after the pandemic and things, I think it's a good thing for everyone to escape from the real world into your fantasy world and just to enjoy. Maybe it's just while listening to our album or visiting a show of us, where you can be in a fantasy world, a nice place to be.
Okay, interesting to know. So, and relating to this, why do you choose the title Silver Romance? Obviously, what does this album represent for you as a band, especially
Yeah.
as you celebrate your 25th anniversary?
Yeah. Yeah, because of the circumstances, this album is quite special for us. So because it was arising in a very difficult time for every one of us. So let's go back to the pandemic, and we have a lot of ups and downs, some emotional ups and downs on this album, musically, but also lyrically. And I think it will be in our memories forever because we can follow all these strange experiences we did with all these restrictions, what we are not used to have. And that was a good reason to have this title, The Silver Romance, because silver as itself, for this metal silver, it has the meaning of freedom, of clarity, and it strengthens your self-confidence and your imagination and fantasy. And that is fitting very, very well to Freedom Call's attitude. So be free, be your own, or keep your own way, follow your own steps. And it's just describing in a very positive way, yeah, maybe quite a like life supporting topic.
Okay, okay. Well, your first album, Stairway to Fairyland, was released in 1999. So then we have this new album upcoming. So how was your songwriting and recording process evolve over the years?
So generally, I would say that nothing really was changing. So we are following the same way as usual. So we all have some small studios at home where we can write the songs. And for me personally, as a producer, it's the most important thing that you are keeping the original. That means every songwriter has its vision about something. So you have a vision, and then you're writing the song. And on some bands or on some producers trying to change the arrangements, to change some sounds of the original. And that's where I'm thinking I can't agree with them, because for me, it's the most important thing, the vision, that you will keep it alive. And so I think our songwriting is quite rough, and we try to keep alive this roughness until the end, until the production. And I think that is the only one chance that you can touch the heart of the listener when you will give him the original and not a totally produced product.
Okay, interesting to know. Oh, you managed, as you mentioned, you managed to maintain a consistent and successful career in the power metal genre, for over 2 decades. So, what is your secret to staying true to your sound while still keeping things fresh?
So I think it's quite easy to answer. So it's the authenticity. So I think it's there's no chance to get successful or to, yeah, what I said, touch the hearts of the listeners or your fans or friends or whatever, if you're faking something, if you are synthetic or you're trying to act a person or a songwriting or a producing or anything like this, you have to be honest to yourself and you have to be honest to the people. And then you will get this little chance in this huge music business to find true followers and to touch hearts of the listeners.
Hmm, interesting point. So your music is often, as you mentioned, you touch many things, but because your music is often described as uplifting and optimistic, even in the face of challenging times. How do you maintain such a positive
Mm.
outlook in your music,
Yeah,
especially in the midst of a global pandemic and ongoing
yeah.
conflicts around the world?
Yes, of course. So getting some requests of fans or from listeners of Freedom Call. Hey, Chris, you must be the happiest person on this planet because you're always smiling and your songs, every song, the sun is arising and things. No, I'm a normal person. So I have the good days and have the bad days. I'm pissed and I'm laughing and whatever. Maybe you can see to make or to write music or songs, what we are doing, kind of like a self therapy. So yeah, it is. So when I'm when I'm waking up and I have a bullshit already in the morning like you had.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Then yeah, the mood is constantly growing when I'm starting to write music in my studio, because that's my passion. That's my passion, to make music. And when you have some success and you say, oh, now I got some new interesting song material, that makes me happy. And yeah, maybe it's the reason to me to grow up, or yeah, to grow up my mood while writing happy music.
Mm. Okay, okay. So, into one talking about more and a little more perspective about power metal. So, what is your current perspective of the state of the power metal in the music industry nowadays?
Yeah, so it's the 11th album of Freedom Call, so it's 25 years ago. And I can remember when I had the first interviews, I was so excited about the interviews, to talk to some journalists and things. And I think I got exactly the same question 25 years ago. Yeah, power metal, it's underground. And what do you think? Will it survive for the next years? And music business is getting worse and worse and worse. It was 25 years ago. And I think we have exactly the same situation. Power metal, or metal as itself, is and will be in the future an underground business. But we have one advantage to the pop music and things, that the rock music fans or the metal fans are willing, yeah, to buy your album. They are fans, they are collectors, they are really buying your CD or your vinyl or the special edition box, and they are not only streaming like the fans maybe from Taylor Swift are doing that. And they're coming to your concerts. They are following you. They are supporting you. They're writing messages, and it's a very, very lovely communication with the metal fans. And what I said, I think it will ever be an underground scene, but I'm happy to be part of.
Hmm. Okay, interesting to see. So, as a few months ago, I spoke with Mark Hudson from Dragon Force, and he
Oh
told
yeah,
me now that the power metal is more well, stagnated on time with old bands, with a well-known bands, Freedom Call, Gamma Ray. I don't know, a lot of a bunch of new, a bunch old bands now,
yeah,
old bands now, and now the new bands are not bringing new things, just new things because it's trying to copy you, trying to copy Halloween, trying to copy Gamma Ray, Primal Fear, yeah, and the list going on. So that's normally now because we
yeah,
have a lot overpopulated bands in the world.
yeah, yeah,
So and but one thing that he mentioned, I remember very well, that the power metal is seen from Japan especially are bring back again these enthusiastic and anemic things into the power metal. As you can see, Love Bites, the
yeah,
BMD, I don't know, Band Paid, and a little more bands from power
yeah,
metal from Japan. Galnerius, one of them.
yeah,
Even they're old, but they're bringing new things, mixing the pop, I think the
yeah,
kawaii things with the power metal. So,
yeah,
what's your point of view about now this new sound that the Japan tries to bring from
yeah.
Japan now into the power metal?
Yeah. So honestly, I'm not really into the scene which comes over from Japan to do things like this. But anyway, I don't think that they are creating things that were ever already here in the last 10 or 20 or 30 years. So it's just the problem that at this time, when a band was creating a new style, that it was not the right time, and that people were not open-minded to respect this kind of music. They just said maybe, oh, that's bullshit, or no, it's not my thing. And I think it's just, and don't forget, we didn't have the internet, and we didn't have the streaming things, your playlists and things, no YouTube 20 years ago or 25 years ago. And I think that is a very, very important point of, because you can reach a lot of people when there are some influencers or some platforms where you can offer your new style of music to find followers. And 25 years or 30 years, it was impossible to do that, because it was a living or dying with a record label if they are releasing it or not. And now you can all do that by yourself. So it's a totally different generation we have right now. And but I think it's a positive development that everyone is getting a chance to offer your own music. And so I'm really cross my fingers for all the Japanese bands that they're getting a lot of success with a new style or new creations.
Okay, well, one thing that you mentioned is about technology. Given the rapid advancements in technology, would you consider using, perhaps in the future, artificial intelligence in your music creating process, such as songwriting or perhaps an
Yeah.
album artwork? What are your thoughts about overall impact of technology on the art of music?
Yeah, I think that is an endless discussion because so when you go a lot of years back, when go back to the Beatles, the first album was recorded in mono. There was no stereo, there was in mono. And I think they had the same discussion in the scene of the record studios and think, hey, mono, or stereo, oh, it's a new technology, or do you really think to use it? And then a lot of years later, they come the first digital recordings where you could edit and use some digital things. And there was the big discussion about that. Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it honest or is it fake or whatever? So I think it will never end that we will discuss about technologies. Maybe nowadays it's the AI. We're talking about, is it right or it's wrong to use it? Maybe in 20 years or 10 years, the people will laugh about that and will say, oh, what a ridiculous discussion to talk about AI. It's the normal thing in the world. So I think to discuss about technology or technical things, I think it's just a discussion of old people. They are not ready to develop themselves.
Well, okay. Oh, we're very closer doing this interview, Chris. And for this aspect, what are your plans? What are your future plans for this new album? Perhaps you will embark on tours in Europe, US. Who knows? Perhaps Latin America, or who knows, Asia. What kind of plans? Or more videos upcoming? Who knows? What kind of plans do you have for this new album?
Firstly, to get rich and famous. No, our tours is starting almost at the same time as the releases, though it's the 9th of May. We're starting in Germany. And then quickly the summer festival season in Europe is starting. So we're on several festivals around Europe. Then we will restart our tour in fall, so in September, October, November and things. And we already are discussing a tour in Latin America. So we never have been in Peru. So the time has come, I think.
Okay.
So I have been several times in Colombia, also with my solo project. And I think it could be much fun to have a short visit to Peru, or isn't it?
Yes, yes, yes. Well, as I mentioned, talking about now, as you can see, the metal when the start of this when the start of this music in the 60s with Black Sabbath, 70s, 80s, and 90s, always the metal at that time was some impact, produced some impact in the society.
Yeah.
You can see here in Iron Maiden, number of the beats, and the people, wow, that band is satanic for the name, etc., etc. Then appears the death metal the same. The same, they're people, crazy people. Then the black metal appears, they're satanic, etc., etc. But now, thanks to the you can mention, thanks to the influencers, thanks to the social media, the metal is well more accepted now. It's not like to fight against something, to piss off one something. Yeah. It's not like that. The metal is not like that. It's more understandable for a lot of younger people. So now, what is your point of view about now the metal? In some ways, I think lose the essence to present a rebellion against the society. Yeah. But now there is no more rebellion, because if you create a rebellion, tomorrow will be a trend, and 100 people will follow that trend, and will be a more rebellion for it. So what's your point of view about now the metal is more accepted and no has to fight with anything?
Yeah, I think it's quite kind of like the same like it is with bikers, with the motorbikers, the rockers, when they come in with a Harley Davidson. And in the early days, parents were scared about the bikers until they recognized that they are lovely persons, very friendly, very honest, and nice persons. And I can remember we played 3 times the 70,000 tons of metal cruise. It's going from Miami and the Caribbean. And the crew of this huge cruise ship, they told me, hey, they are really longing for, under the crew, who's allowed to work while the 70,000 tons, because the metal fans are the most friendly, the most respectful people in comparison to the usual passengers, and they giving the most of the tips, and they are the most clean persons, less dirt, less garbage, everything. And I think, yeah, so metal music, these saga or this rumor that metal fans are rebels and they are eating children for breakfast and things, I think it's over. It's over, and it's a very good development. And they are respecting also, for example, in Germany, the festival Wacken. So we have it in the official news, and everyone in Germany knows about this festival, and not in a negative way.
Okay, okay. So, well, Chris, the sad times are over this interview. I hope you enjoyed this one like me. You're a
Very
terrific guy.
much.
Terrific guy. Love your answers. Thanks a lot for your time and congratulations on the new album. It's a great one as usual in our career of Freedom Call. Anything you want to say to your fans in Latin America and obviously Metalerium readers or followers?
Of course. So what I told you. So we have been in Mexico, we have been in Colombia, we have been Argentina and Brazil. So I think the time has come to visit Peru. I heard a lot about this beautiful country. My niece have been there for vacation, and she was traveling around alone in Peru. And she told very nice stories, and I would like to see that personally, this beautiful country and your enthusiastic metal fans. So hopefully we can bring over the silver romance to Peru this time.